Hello and greetings to everyone. Today we are going to treat simple interest, which is abbreviated as SI. This is number 11. Most often, when we lend money or when we save money in a financial institution, we always expect the money to yield some interest after a given duration of time. The interest the money generates or yields after that given period of time is known as the simple interest. Let's take this down. Most often, when money is lent, that means borrowed or saved, keeping the money in a financial institution, the money is expected to yield some interest after a duration of time. The amount which is lent is called the principal. That means the amount of money which is being borrowed or being saved is called the principal, and the amount the money yields, means produces, for savings or being borrowed is referred to as the interest, which is denoted by using the letter I. I'll underline the interest with a red pen. Interest is paid defined time, which is denoted by T, intervals. That means it might be monthly or yearly or weekly, and the money lent or saved is said to be on simple interest, which is known as SI. Interest is paid at defined time intervals, and the money lent or saved is said to be on simple interest, when the interest is paid on defined time intervals, for example, weekly, monthly, or yearly. Then the borrowed money or the saved money is said to be on simple interest. Take note of the following abbreviations. They are very important. First one, we have P, which stands for the principal, which is the amount being saved or the amount being borrowed. Next, we have SI, which stands for the simple interest. Next, we have T, which stands for the defined time. We have R%, which is for the rate. Most often the rate is given as a percentage per annum. When you see per annum, that means for 1 year. We take this down to calculate simple interest SI. We make use of the formula below. Make use of this formula to calculate the simple interest. SI is given by take the principal times the value of the rate. Remember, the rate is given as a percentage, R%, like this. So you take down just the value of the rate, which is R. You multiply by the time, then you divide by 100. The reason why we are dividing by 100 is simply because R% is simply the same as R all over 100. That's the reason why we have 100 in the denominator here. Then the rate is always given as percentage per annum, per year. That means if you take R% per annum, is simply the same as R over 100. Then there will be years down here. Then the time is always stated in years. Time in years over 1. You see years will strike off years. You will simply be left with R over 100 times T. We take this down from simple interest equal to principal times rate times time all over 100, comma, we have the, taking out of this is our rough work, we have the following. If we make principal the subject of the formula, the principal will simply be equal to the simple interest times 100. Then we divide by rate times time. We go to B. The rate is simply equal to the simple interest times 100 all over the principal times the time. We go to C. Time T is equal to the simple interest times 100 We divide by principal times the rate. We go to D, the amount, which is denoted by E, total amount the person makes at the end will simply be equal to the principal plus the simple interest. The amount the lender makes is simply equal to the principal, the amount he gave out on loans, plus the interest the amount generates after the given duration. Then you also take note of this. In some books, you see the simple interest being calculated as such. You see SI equal to the principal times the rate times the time, something as such. In this case, the rate is just given as R, but always take note the rate is a percentage. So when answering such a question, you must always express the rate as a percentage. That is, if you are given a rate of 7%, you express the 7% as 7 over 100 times the time. You take note of this. Now let's look at some examples. Take examples. Question 1. Find the simple interest on $20,000 after 2 years at a rate of 2% per annum. The solution. First, we know to calculate simple interest, we make use of the formula SI is equal to principal times the arrow value of the rate times the time, that we divide by 100. From the problem, the principal is the given amount, which is $20,000. Our time T is 2 years. We are simply just going to write down the value of the time, which is 2. Our rate is 2%. We are simply just going to write down the value of the rate, which is 2. We are not going to express it as 2 over 100 because the 100 is already at the denominator here. In setting the values, our simple interest will simply be, we're going to write down $20,000 times the rate, the value of the rate R, which is 2, times T, which is 2. We divide by 100. 100 will go into 20,000 200 times. 100 divided by 100 gives us 1. We'll be left with $200 times 4, because 2 times 2 gives us 4. And this will simply be equal to $800. This is the simple interest $20,000 makes after 2 years at a rate of 2% per annum. We move now to question 2. It says find principal required to yield a simple interest of 45,000 francs CFA after 3 years at a rate of 5% per annum. When you hear per annum, it simply refers to per year. That means in 1 year's time. Then you take note the rate is always given per the unit of time. If the time is in months, then the rate will be given as percentage per months. If the time is in weeks, then the rate will be given as percentage per week. So you take note of that. But most often, the rate is always given as percentage per year. We have to find the principal. Principal is equal to simple interest times 100 all over the rate, value of the rate times the value of the time. From the given problem, the simple interest is 45,000 francs CFA. The rate, value of the rate R is 5. The time, value of the time is 3. We are going to insert them in this our formula. Then we simplify. Our principal will be equal to 45,000 francs CFA times 100. We divide by 5 times 3. This will give us 5 times 3 is equal to 15. 15 will go into 45 3 times. 15 will go here 3 times. Attaching these 3 zeros will give us 3,000 francs CFA. 15 divided by 15 will give us 1, since 5 times 3 is 15. 3,000 francs CFA times 100 will give us 300,000 francs CFA. So this is the principal that will yield a simple interest of 45,000 francs CFA after 3 years at a rate of 5% per annum. Next, we are going to take the following exercises for application. Exercises for application. Question 1 says, find the time required for 30,000 francs CFA to yield a simple interest of 15,000 francs CFA at a rate of 5% per annum. We go to question 2. It says find the rate per annum given that 375,000 francs CFA yields 75,000 francs CFA simple interest in 4 years. Go to question 3. Question 3. Find the simple interest on 2 million francs CFA after 3 years at a rate of 4% per annum. Find also the total amount at the end. We take solution. Exercise 1, question 1 says find the time required for 30,000 francs CFA to yield a simple interest of 15,000 francs CFA at a rate of 5% per annum. We are looking for time. The time is simply equal to, we are going to multiply the simple interest by 100. We divide by the principal times the rate. From the question, we have been given the simple interest. We have been given the simple interest to be equal to 15,000 francs CFA, comma, the principal as 30,000 francs CFA, and the rate as 5% per annum. So our array here will simply be 5. For us to get the time, we are simply going to insert values. We have 15,000 francs CFA times 100. We divide by 30,000 francs CFA times the rate, which is the value of the rate arrow, which is 5. Performing simplifications, you see francs CFA will strike off francs CFA. 15,000 will go into 30,000 2 times. Here we have 1, here we have 2. 5 times 2 gives us 10. 100 divided by 10 gives us 10. The time will simply be 10 years. Because the time is always given in years. Since our rate has been given as 5% per annum, that means 5% per year. The time must be given in years. We move now to exercise 2, question 2. It says find the rate per annum given that 375,000 francs CFA yields 75,000 francs CFA simple interest in 4 years. We have to find R, the value of R. R is simply equal to, we are going to multiply the simple interest by 100. Then we divide by the principal times the time. From the question, we have been told that the principal is 375,000 francs CFA. The simple interest is equal to 75,000 francs CFA, and the time is equal to 4 years. Just write down the value, which is 4. For us to get the rate, we are simply going to insert these values, then we simplify. 75,000 francs CFA times 100, then we divide by principal, which is 375,000 francs CFA. We multiply by the value of the time, which is 4. And this will simply be equal to, simplifying, 1000 will go into 75,000, 75 times. 1000 will go into 375,000, 375 times. The francs CFA will strike off. 4 will go into 125 times. We'll be left with 75 times 25 at the numerator, which is 1875. We have to divide 1875 by 375 at the denominator. It gives us 5. Our R is equal to 5. Stating our R, remember R is always given as such, percentage per annum. Our R as percentage per annum will simply be 5% per annum. So this is the rate per annum needed for 375,000 francs CFA to yield a simple interest of 75,000 francs CFA within a time period of 4 years. Move now to question 3. Find the simple interest on 2 million francs CFA after 3 years at a rate of 4% per annum. Find also the total amount at the end. We have to calculate the simple interest. Simple interest is simply equal to take the principal times the value of the rate times the value of the time divided by 100. From the question, we have been told that the principal, which is the amount being invested, is 2 million francs CFA, the time is equal to 3 years, the rate is equal to 4, the value of the rate. We are going to insert them in this formula to calculate our simple interest. The simple interest will be equal to the principal, which is 2 million francs CFA, times the value of the rate, which is 4, times the value of the time, which is 3. Then we divide by 100. 100 will go into 2 million francs CFA, 20,000 francs CFA. 100 divided by 100 gives us 1 at the denominator. This will simply be equal to 20,000 francs CFA times 4 times 3 is equal to 12. 20,000 francs CFA times 12, which is equal to 240,000 francs CFA. So this is the simple interest that a principal of 2 million francs CFA will generate after 3 years at a rate of 4% per annum. We go to the next part of the question, which is asking us to find also the total amount at the end. The total amount at the end, total amount, the amount is denoted by A. It is simply equal to the sum of the principal and the simple interest made. And this will be equal to the principal, which is 2 million, francs CFA plus the simple interest, which is 240,000 francs CFA. Performing this addition, we are going to obtain 2,240,000 francs CFA. So this is the total amount the person will receive at the end of this investment. We are done with the correction of the exercises for application on simple interest. If in case you have any problems, feel free to leave your questions at the comment section. Please like the video, share, and subscribe to this channel. Stay tuned to our next lesson, which is on compound interest.